What we do here is go back.
Well, good morning, YouTubers. Today, I'm going to give you my top tips to get the best out of your Feiyu Tech G5 Gimbal. One or two tips on actually using the gimbal, and also the settings that I use through the Feiyu Tech app. I thought I'd do this video. It'll be the last video that I do on the Feiyu Tech Gimbal. I've done an unboxing, I've done test footage, but one thing I've noticed is there doesn't seem to be a great deal of videos out there with people discussing their settings. So obviously the first thing I recommend is that you go into the App Store or the Play Store and download the Feiyu Tech Feiyu Settings app. You'll notice also that there's a firmware update that's just come, I think last week, and it's version 1.51. Once you go into the app, you've got 3 sets of settings that you can change. And one of the things that I do straight away is the follow me mode. And out of the box settings for that, there's a dead zone of 10 and the follow mode of 20. Well, I personally think 20 is too slow, really. I was noticing it wasn't really reacting. So the results that I found are best is to change the dead zone from 10 till 5, reduce it down to 5, and increase the follow me mode to 50 from the original 20. If you then go into the motor setting, you have pan, you have tilt, and you have rolling axis, and they're all kept at 0. The next group of settings is your yaw speed and your pitch speed. And straight out of the box, they're both set at 90. And it seems rather high to me. So what I've done, I've dropped those both down to 50. And 50 just seems to it ridges up the camera a little bit, it tightens up the gimbal. Okay, so that's the gimbal itself. So what I started to do was, with the cameras, is try out different filming settings for them. And with the new GoPro and the GoPro update, you can film in linear mode. Linear mode is taking away that GoPro look and the stretched form. You're not getting the fisheye either. So what I'm now doing is I'm filming with the gimbal in linear mode. And what I really like is the 1440p 48 frames per second. It really does fill the sensor up on the camera. I feel like I'm getting smooth results. I can also obviously in post-production crop a little bit off the top or a little bit off the bottom and focus in on the center. And having 48 frames per second, if I want to put anything in slow motion, pop that down to 24 frames per second, so reduction of 50%, and then put the whole thing into a 24 frames per second timeline, I do seem, in my opinion, to be getting a lot better results. So if you have a GoPro camera, highly recommend that you try looking at this linear mode. I overall like it for everything, and even without a gimbal, I'm filming purely in linear mode now. So try that one out as well. So the gimbal itself, I questioned in previous videos that you'll be able to watch on this channel whether a gimbal was worthwhile buying. And I wasn't so sure when I first bought it. However, now I've been using the gimbal, I don't think I'd ever go back to not using one. I was in the water the other day, and I'm using the gimbal, and I didn't use any of that footage because it was just too shaky. So with the gimbal, I think when I first bought it, I thought that it would smooth out no matter how I held it, how I walked, etc. And it's not quite as simple as that. If you have a GoPro and an action camera, we all tend to film quite smoothly. And I think by doing that with the gimbal, you avoid all jitter completely. But the gimbals do work great. I've driven along in the car and literally just put my arm out of the window and filmed, and it's as smooth as a baby's backside. I love it. I think the footage is brilliant. So overall, I think gimbals are really worth buying, and I think if you play around with these settings, I really do feel that you'll achieve great results and you'll be very happy. But you can't just use the gimbal and think it's going to iron out all your errors. You've still got to think about the shot. You have to wait for the camera to move slightly to fill the frame in what you're trying to shoot. Handy there, the old Lilo coming out of the pool. But yeah, I think bear with it, practice with it, try some of those settings. It might be that you'll try my settings and you don't feel that they're any good at all, but generally I do feel that trying these settings you'll get better results. So this will be my last video on the Feiyu Tech G5. I think I've done enough of it, and I think you'll probably all be bored of me going on about a small little bit of tech. It's time for me to move on to some other reviews. I've got a really amazing drone coming from a new company in China, which hopefully will arrive soon, and I'll be doing a full review and unboxing of that. And of course I'll be traveling around Thailand, seeing the lovely beaches, and hopefully capturing some really nice shots and some great movies. So I really appreciate you watching, guys. I always appreciate all your comments and your likes. It's really good of you. We're all trying to grow together. So thanks for watching, and see you soon.
What we do here is go back.